reporter is on the other side of the camera, not wearing a mask and gloves. So, there's a certain risk that's being taken by these reporters and photographers that are all on the front lines of events that are being canceled, or airports that are still open but maybe shouldn't be. So lots of stuff going on, and they're just doing all of this to try and bring the news. It's so important to these organizations. Call it journalistic integrity, call it whatever you want, that they're doing whatever they can to get this message out in this crazy time. I mean, here you've got a guy basically in a full-on gas mask in the field. Looks like something right out of World War I as he's walking down the street. This is a global crisis, and we have broadcasters all over the world collaborating together, working together, trying to get this information out to the public.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is affecting hundreds and hundreds of countries. It started in China. The news has just been all over the map, and sometimes this is where live video really helps you get the most accurate, and hopefully accurate, but also most current information. Even here, we're here in Pennsylvania on the East Coast of the United States of America, and we can't even live stream to YouTube right now. We live stream to YouTube all the time. I mean, it's second nature. YouTube servers aren't working. Surprisingly, LinkedIn is working. So if you're watching us there, thank you, and say hi. Hi, Jose. Hi, Marco. Hi, Kat. And hi, David Simon from Detroit. LinkedIn's coming in for us. Twitch is working. Facebook is working, as far as I know. And Tess, you can update us on that. But YouTube, for the first time in my life, didn't want to load. And so we've got a stressed out internet globally where bandwidth is tight. And you guys are helping to provide cellular bonding access to folks on the field who are trying to stream their live video in the field back to all kinds of different locations for television networks. And we're going to demonstrate that today. But what's it like out there? I mean, it must be just mayhem almost.
Yeah, and I mean, truly, you bring up the internet. It just is an interesting little tidbit. You've got Netflix and YouTube starting to reduce the amount of bandwidth that they're sending. They've dropped their quality levels so that they can continue to deliver, over the current internet as it exists today. The internet was, it's an organic thing. It was never really designed. It's just kind of been built on and added to. So it's a beautiful thing. Some computer scientists will tell you it's a miracle it even works. Complicated it is, but at the same time, it is really the lifeline for a lot of people. I couldn't do my job from where I am right now without the internet and be able to service our customers. The cellular networks have started doing things like lifting data caps on some hotspots and Wi-Fi devices so that people can continue to work from home. And good for the telecom companies that are really trying very hard to make sure that we can do this remotely.
YouTube is back. Okay, I had never seen that in my life. YouTube would not load for us. It's back and up and running. So hi everybody over there. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, breaking news. YouTube is back. So we're gonna go through some of these awesome pictures that you have. And I understand that you have a customer in Italy who is really on the front lines of this. Do you want to show that quick little video, Chris?
Yeah, if you want to roll that down.
Let's do it.
So this is, a video that was put together by one of our partners in Italy. And
the COVID-19 outbreak.
Everything is just empty.
I'm gonna turn on the audio for a sec.
In many years, we have never seen such an environment to work in, putting our crew's health first. Our mission as VF Solutions is to provide reliable and quick services all over the globe, to bring news on air first, giving the people at home the possibility to see the news fast, in real time. During the coronavirus outbreak, our commitment is to make effort to provide ENG services all over the world, in Europe, in Asia, in the United States, working non-stop to provide news from the most impacted areas of the world. LiveU always supported us, offering reliable solutions with robust bandwidth and technologies that are making possible what we are doing to keep people in.
I'm going to mute it there, Chris, but as you can see, there's aerial footage of Italy, pretty much just, you know, empty streets there.
Yeah, no, and you know, certainly it's that way, and I'm assuming it's going to be that way when you take the unit out and start wandering down the street there in Pennsylvania. But no, it's very different everywhere. I'm actually here in Florida right now, and the you know, they're taking it a little slower than you might expect. We're not quite on lockdown orders here yet. It's only a matter of time, I'm assuming. But you know, some of the problems, I got to tell you, that broadcasters are coming to us to solve are, you know, how not just how do we broadcast remotely, but all of the ancillary pieces that are so critical to broadcast, things like monitoring, things like audio. You know, these are critical systems to be able to do this well, and you know, they're not able to gain access to their main system. So how do you do things like extend that? In many cases, some broadcast centers have limited the staff in the building to just those in transmission. And they've got backup transmission locations that are set up and ready to go. So, you know, at a moment's notice, they could roll a van to a transmitter or to you know, an offsite and be able to broadcast live to that, you know, to the van or from the van, whatever they had to do in order to continue to deliver that to viewers. So
here's a picture that you sent over that I think there is some good coming out of this, by the way, which is bands and musicians, even though their tours are stopped on hold, are starting to live stream. And I saw this one. I don't know where this is from. I think it was in Europe at a club, but they're broadcasting from a club, I believe.
Yeah. We've got, you know, a lot of customers that are trying to find other ways to continue to you know, maintain some business continuity, and business continuity is both in the entertainment industry, as you're seeing here, the news industry. You know, sports right now is unfortunately not really happening at all, which is a shame because I know that helps keep a lot of folks out there sane. But the business continuity part, you know, solving problems that we've never really had to face before, and you know, doing that in a way where you can't touch the equipment that you used to be able to touch. You can't touch those button panels that you see in these pictures in some cases. So, you know, you're all alone today, Paul, right? If you don't have anyone there to help push those buttons, and let's say you couldn't be in that studio at all, let's say nobody could be in that studio, how would you do this, right? You're going to have to find creative ways around that, especially if you rely on infrastructure equipment that's at your broadcast center. We've got customers using smartphones and laptops. You know, we're using Zoom here. We have customers using our LiveU Smart application to broadcast from home. Reporters and mobile journalists and video journalists alike using the platform. You know, in many cases, they're now even having field crews travel separately to sites. They'll have the photog in one car. They'll have the reporter in another car. They will both drive to the site separately. They will not interact. They will maintain that social distance that we've now heard about a million times. And you know, they will get back in the car and they go home. They won't even let them go back to the station. So they're you know, people that are in the station on skeleton crews are dedicated to the station, and people that are in the field are trying to keep in the field.
So one of the things I'm going to do really quickly as we're chatting about this is I'm going to turn on the backpack here. So this is our LiveU backpack. I've got a little Sony action camera that's plugged in, and I've got it on, and let's just see here, make sure everything's looking good. I'm going to start streaming with this, and we're going to show how easy it is to work. So if I hit that start button there, we're going to start streaming with this backpack, and I'm going to put the backpack on. But before we do that, I want to open it up to the Zoom meeting really quickly, because everybody in our Zoom meeting today has an important story to tell, and I want everyone to come on this live walk with us as well. How's everybody doing out there? interested to hear what you guys are doing. We're doing a little Zoom party today to bring people together. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Why doesn't everybody tell us where they're from and maybe their name and what they've been up to?
I can start. I'm actually with Zoom. I'm a product marketer here. And I saw your LinkedIn post and was curious about this topic. It's really cool. It's helping people adapt. So shout out to all the Zoom folks on here. And thank you guys for this.
We should say thank you to Zoom. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we'd be able to do this kind of thing without it. So, definitely appreciate everything that the technology has allowed us to do.
Yeah, thank you so much. I see we have Joyce on the line. How's it going, Joyce?
Hi, Tech Challenge, Joyce. No. How's it going, guys? I'm here in New Jersey in my kitchen. Thank you, Zoom, for making that possible.
So,
and we've got Claudia on from LiveU as well.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
So one of the things we're going to do here, which is going to be pretty interesting, is I'm going to put on this backpack. Okay, so let me see if I have a good shot of this. All right, so I'm going to put my coat on because I have to go outside.
Is it cold there, Paul?
Oh yeah, it's well, I don't know. I don't know if I need it or not, but I'm still going to put it on. I'm going to put the backpack on, and we're going to go for a little mobile tour downtown. And you guys, I'm going to bring my phone with the Zoom call, so I'll have you guys all there. To this broadcast, I'm gonna bring my Zoom phone so I have you guys. Are we good? Is everything working?
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but what Paul's doing right now is essentially what those lone reporters and video journalists are having to do. The stations can only afford, from a safety perspective, to send one reporter to cover, let's say, a press conference that's coming from the governor's mansion or a local health agency. And then what they're doing over IP through the LiveU system is making that one feed available to multiple networks within that region so that all of the other stations can pull.
So people are taking this seriously. We're just going to do one walk around the block and then go back to the studio. So here we go. How's everything going, Tess? Is everything working?
We lost the LiveU. You might have an unplugged wire.
We lost the LiveU?
You did.
Oh no, we didn't get far. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened.
Connections.
Can you switch it back to the other scene, I guess? Wow.
Yeah.
So as soon as I left, like everything stopped working. All right. Stay calm during times of crisis.
Oh, why don't you take the back off and there's not just an unplugged connection?
You check it?
Yeah, check it.
Well, I really, it's really difficult for me to hold a phone, check the backpack, hold a camera, and hold a microphone.
Okay, well, at
So
least
I'm
we
just
still.
gonna head back to the studio. All right, coming back. I don't know what happened. I'll check it when I get back in the studio. Did you switch the stream back to the other stream? To the
I
studio
did,
stream?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting, because we didn't have
Okay.
a redundancy feature to replace
All
it.
right. So I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest. Let's see. Ugh. Oh, the camera did get unplugged. I don't know why.
And
the
that will
camera-
break a stream. If it no longer sees a source coming in, that will stop it.
Whoops.
I told you to check the wires.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go
And
back.
surprisingly, the Facebook, it never went away. Just the screen went dark.
All right.
So it
So
never
that's
really
what
dropped.
happened there.
Dead, which is the good part about Easy Live, because it doesn't just cut your
Plug this
stream.
back in.
We are able to go back and we switched to our studio feed. But yeah, the camera got unplugged, so that's why you were seeing the black screen.
All right. Well, sorry about that, guys. I need to find a better way to keep that plugged in, huh? It must have popped out.
Yeah, the HDMI cable isn't as secure as an SDI cable is. So for roaming reporters when they're running around, that is why they like their SDI connections, because it can be a little bit more secure.
Yeah,
Zip ties
I'm
can
gonna have to get a zip tie too, maybe. Yeah, I should zip tie it there. Well, I'll learn that one next time. I see you guys actually have some like zip tie cable management right here. I should be using.
Yeah, so those pigtails are pretty solid. You'd normally leave them connected directly there and plug into the pigtail, and that way you're not
I
connecting and
see.
disconnecting the feed to the unit.
Oh,
But-
well, that was my issue. Sorry.
No,
I
it's
should be using that.
live and learn.
Man.
But you know, you're going through the same challenges that everyone in the field has when they're trying to do a one-man band. You know, one of the reasons they'll sometimes go out with a LiveU backpack is because they do want to bring those big ENG cameras, but very frequently, just to try and keep things simple, they'll show up with their iPhone or Android phone and stream via LiveU Smart, just to get that feedback to the station. One of the other things, and Claudia started talking about this, you know, is these governors' press conferences and whatnot that are being covered all over the place right now, and we've now put up the better part of 30 different local loops around the country where stations in a given market are sharing content. So they send one person, they put up their camera, and then they share it with all of the other stations in town. Or even better, sometimes you know, we have governors, like the governor of California actually has his own unit and is able to basically, you know, have the equivalent of their own satellite channel. So they distribute that out on the LiveU Matrix platform, and then all of the broadcasters and networks are able to receive that through the cloud as a very low latency, very high quality, high bitrate stream. So it works a little differently than some of the technology that we're using here today. But you know, it's the concept is still very much the same. How do I get this video from A to Z? And so in our case, you know, or in Paul's case, I should say, it's a combination of Easy Live and Zoom. And I'm guessing a half dozen other things, which is great. And in LiveU land, it's, the backpack and the servers and cloud servers and distribution platforms like Matrix in order to get that signal out to all of the viewers that we need to get that to.
Hey, Chris, this is Dan House from BC Live. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Dan, how are you?
Hey, great. We have a great case study or example as well, what you just talked about. We're here in Los Angeles, and we're a huge LiveU fan. We have a whole fleet of rentals from the 600 to the video return server and a bunch of decoders. So we're big fans. But our mayor came to us at the last minute and wanted to do exactly what you're talking about. Our mayor, Eric Garcetti, and their channel Station 36 from Los Angeles. They have a whole really elaborate, expensive system at City Hall, but it's all internal, and it was only designed for, delivering boardrooms and going to, private destinations. So they wanted to be able to quickly get this out to not only their NOC over at the LA City Station, but then also to get it out to the pool feed, right? So we provided them with a 600, got them set up with a decoder in their control room. And also they're decoding it over at the Switch LA, which is the hub in Los Angeles, as you know, for everything fiber and sat. So it's really awesome to just be a part of that project for the city of Los Angeles and Mayor Eric Garcetti, who's basically goes live every day at 5 o'clock to update the city on what's going on. So LiveU was it's a no-brainer. This is what you guys needed to make this happen. And they're also using the Matrix now, as you were mentioning, to be able to share that out to various news and the networks that are already on the LiveU network. So thanks for that.
Thank you. Yeah, now we spend a lot of time connecting dots, right? I mean, that's effectively what we're doing. You solve the first mile problem, and then you need to solve the second mile problem, and then you need to solve the last mile problem. And so, you just kind of have to work your way through that. You got to figure out what equipment you have, where that equipment is, who can run it, who can gain access to it, and then, kind of work your way back out from there. At the end of the day, all of that's ending up on somebody's television at home, as broadcast by the local stations or the national broadcasters. We're seeing a lot of the national broadcasters act as hubs for many of these press conferences, both mayoral and gubernatorial press conferences that are happening, and they're getting that information back out to everybody. So, the local mayor in your area might have something that's very important for you guys. They might also have some good tips or other information for people that are at least right now could be looking to visit or have family in that area and trying to get that information out even further. So it's all about trying to cast the widest net possible.
Yeah, and you talked about that first mile issue. I think looking at the ancillary data, like that feature that you guys had added recently, where they wanted some captions, right? They wanted some live captions generated at that first mile at the station or at the boardroom. And so we were able to give them an EEG, of course, caption encoder, and that was also sent over the LiveU. So you have to, if you guys don't know, you have to go into your LU Central and make sure that you check that button to send the SDI ancillary data. But it's also awesome then that we can generate captions in the field and send those captions also embedded over LiveU. So that's been very helpful for the accessibility and the hard of hearing community.
Yeah, for sure. And captioning obviously being an FCC requirement, can be very challenging in this situation because most of those caption bridges are screwed into racks at broadcast stations that they may or may not be able to gain access to for whatever reason. So, almost every major network at this point has a contingency plan. It's been very interesting watching television, on both the local and the national level, because it is, it's in the matter of 3 weeks gone from being, an established, we broadcast from here, this is our station, that's our transmitter right there, to, nobody's in the building, everybody's editing from home, reporters are working from home, they've got sets. We have customers that have called up and ordered, dozens of units, and every single one of their, reporters or commentators have a unit in their house now, and they set something up in their study, and away they go. They're live on air.
Chris, it's Claudia. It's actually how the NFL draft is even going to be able to take place now. completely remotely. So there will be coaches and athletes and commentators all participating in the live broadcast on NFL Network from their homes. And we would not have been able to pull off an event like this without that type of remote video encoding technology and being able to transmit content like that, live broadcasting quality content over the public internet.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do you guys, should I give this one more try now that I'm using the right HDMI connection?
Sure, we got nothing to lose. Why not?
All right. So just so we're on the same page, so we're going to basically switch our TMP feeds. So, and LinkedIn is still working. So LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube and Twitch will all switch to this LiveU feed that we can watch online. I will bring the Zoom phone with me so that we can all still communicate and everything should work fine. So what'd you say, Tess?
Don't forget to unmute yourself on the Zoom call so we can.
Oh man, I don't know if my mic was on. They're generally staffed by elderly, senior volunteers So they closed right away. Let's see here. All right. They are open technically. Oh my gosh, there's a police officer in there. Curbside pickup on this one. So curbside pickup is normal. Oh man, Mike's calling me. Hold on. And we'll just finish our walk around the block and we will go. So it would be nice to have a crew, I'll say that. It's a lot of things for me to be juggling right now.
Oh, have you gotten takeout from any of these restaurants?
No, we're being super, super safe, and we're not getting any takeout or anything like that. So, I did get takeout from Carlino's, and that's it.
I haven't been to Westchester in almost 2 weeks now. This is just crazy.
I know. It's nuts. It's crazy. All right, so we're almost back at the office. We'll just go around this turn here, and then we'll be back.
I don't know if you guys caught the article in the New York Times the other day. They were noting something like 75% of all independent restaurants may not be able to recover from this.
Wow.
There's going to be a long period of time, very long, interesting period of time after this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just difficult because you want to support them, but at the same time, especially like expensive restaurants, because like I don't want to pay so much expensive stuff if I don't get the experience of being there. I like a $75 takeout of a dinner.
You think about it though, somebody docked the food on the shelves in the grocery store and you're touching it. How many degrees of separation is there from takeout food? I don't know.
All right, so that counts as somewhat of redemption, but I think I forgot to turn my microphone.
I'll go ahead and switch you back to the studio feed, Paul.
All right, thank you. Whew. All right, we'll just back down. All right, we did it.
At least it's not snowing today, right?
All right. I'm gonna put this over here. Meeting. All right. Whew. All right, so we made it. We walked around the building. Well, thank you so much for being here, everybody. It was a fun show. There was, of course, some issues along the way. I blame it on YouTube. So did we miss anything? Oh, let's see here. What did we forget?
Questions lingering in the chat.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions or any needs for remote broadcast solutions, feel free to reach out to LiveU. You know, we're here. We're full steam ahead. You know, we've got all of our remote teams. We've got all of our teams working remotely around the world right now. You know, unique challenges, but you know, our solution engineers and pre-sales engineers, everybody's healthy and ready to go. So if anyone needs some specific solution like this to be able to broadcast live, we've got the tech.
And not so much the technology either. I mean, obviously for major news broadcasters and broadcast engineers, They're very familiar with our products, and we are out there supporting them. We've got teams, our teams actually have gotten special dispensation by many local governments in different countries as a necessary company, so that we are allowed to go out and service our customers or make it into our facilities. But for all the new verticals, let's call them people who have never streamed before, some of this today might have sounded a little overwhelming, but there are many different ways to skin a cat. There are many different ways to go live. And even if it's not something that necessarily needs the same level of technology that the newscasters are using right now, we do have people that can even help connect the dots with other solutions, like you guys were, talking about with the different cloud production solutions. We're more than happy to here to help. We actually have a user group on Facebook, Stream Like a Pro, I believe it's called. So you can join that, and there's a ton of fantastic people there from all walks of life that are sharing best practices and helping other people get online and live stream to communicate right now.
Awesome. Well, I put you full screen for that because
Oh,
I figured I would. I'll just show everybody really quickly what I'm up to these days. So I'm just down here. No one is here. So I apologize for any broadcasting issues that come up. It is really tricky. Imagine trying to do all of this yourself. It's been tricky. So, but just to say you guys can see, I've got Zoom on this side, right? I have vMix on this side. Obviously, you saw over there we had the backpack and everything, the LU600 when I was going live there. But yeah, there's nobody here. Normally I have Tess helping me on social. I've got Mike doing the switching here, and all I have to worry about is like the content and switching the PowerPoint slides. But we're adapting, right? And we're changing. Like right next to me, I now have a touchscreen tablet so that I can switch the inputs. And, we've got this whole Zoom party thing going on, which for a very long time, I knew that we could do that. Like I knew that we could have a Zoom party. That was not like new technology, but now it's becoming like a crucial part of our live streams. And every live stream since at least Monday, we've been doing more and more Zoom calls as part of the live stream. And just so you guys can see, we're basically taking the output of vMix and inputting it as a source into Zoom. So that's something you can do as a broadcaster, even if there's a couple different ways that you could use it. I mean, another way we're using it for our worship summit next Thursday is we're having one live broadcast and then simultaneously one Zoom call, so that folks who want to break out of the live broadcast in the chat room and get more in depth with our speakers and our panelists. And I think reporters could do this too. Because, you think about it, reporters get 5-10 minutes of airtime. What about, why don't they just stay live on a Zoom call where all of the television viewers can now jump in and keep talking to them for an extra 45 minutes and an hour? Now, they have to have good Wi-Fi or cellular bonding technology, I guess, to keep their phone with the high quality Zoom call. But this is changing the way everybody is looking at it. I mean, literally everybody is using some type of video conferencing technology now if they have internet access, right?
absolutely. As Chris was saying, it's business continuity, and these business continuity tools are probably being used right now in ways that nobody ever thought they would be used for.
Well, this has been so exciting. We did our best over here. I know there were some hiccups during the live broadcast, including me not plugging in the HDMI to the right port. But I don't do this that often, so I apologize. But it's been a lot of fun, and I hope that everyone got their their questions answered. I see David is joining now. If anyone has any last questions, you have some of the top LiveU experts here to ask questions to. So we could stick around for maybe another 5 minutes or so. But if you got a question, fire it out now. Are there any questions on the chat room, Tess, that we should answer?
Let me scroll through the chat right now.
Hey, Paul, I don't know if you can hear me. This is Jim Teague from Chicago. Can you hear me?
Hi, Jim. Yeah.
Hi. I'm wondering if you guys recommend what's the best way to do a concurrent chat when you're streaming? If you're incorporating, so we would be incorporating a Facebook stream and Zoom into an overall stream. Any recommendations on a good concurrent chat solution?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to ask vMix about that. I don't know if Zoom, and Esther was here a minute ago from Zoom, but I think she popped off. I wonder if Zoom has an API for their chat, because I had that same thought yesterday, and I'm just going to fire off an email to vMix because they're so responsive. And I'm just going to ask them if there's any way that, because right now, as you can see right here, you can integrate Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. There's even something called IRC, which might be the solution for this. But anyway, we'll see. Right now, I don't know of any other way other than having a good moderator. And Jim, it looks like you're from a house of worship.
That's right.
We're going to be actually at 2:00 live broadcasting with Starin Audiovisual on how churches can live stream. But one of the things that I was going to mention to them is that I think that churches specifically should definitely be using Zoom as well as live streaming at the same time. And you should have a worship leader in the Zoom meeting, and they should be using that chat room and somehow parlaying the information from Zoom into, the ear of the pastor, however that easiest way can be.
Yeah, we do that with our Facebook chat when we do our prayers of the people the last couple of weeks, and that's worked really well. But we've got a good segment of our population which is older and aren't on Facebook, so we're trying to overcome that hurdle.
All right, sorry, I was just emailing Martin Sinclair about the feature request. What was that question, Jim?
I was just saying that we've managed to integrate Facebook chat into our Sunday services where we get the prayers of the people, but having a fair bit of our population that don't connect via Facebook, they're really kind of left out of our chat.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, YouTube wouldn't be a bad solution because you don't need to have a login for YouTube. So that helps. But I agree that the Zoom chat is a little bit more private. It's not, public social media. So people tend to use it in that way. And I really enjoy that, the experience there. And the only way I could think of, the one way you could do is you could actually overlay it onto your live stream. But the way that vMix Social gives you a curated experience where you can pick the ones you want and add them to a queue, and then show only the important ones to the pastor, let's say. If we had that ability to bring Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Zoom all into one space, vMix Call is probably the closest thing out there. If Zoom's chat messaging had some type of API, which I think it does, to be honest, man, that'd be a game changer. Let's see what happens with that. We'll keep it top of mind. All right. Well, that's our show, everybody. Thank you so much, Chris, Joyce, Claudia. It's been a pleasure. Glenn, Kyle, Tess, David, thank you for joining, everybody.